Now, let's bring in an expert and a doctor because I have this problem. Dr. Jamie Zuckerman, a licensed clinical psychologist. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So Sundays, I cannot unwind. I can't get my brain to settle down so I can go to sleep. So I sit in bed and I like to stare at the clock and I can't get myself to wind down. So let's go through some of the other symptoms that other people have as well, where they feel worried, agitated, stomach problems, insomnia. So what do we do? How do we handle it?
Yeah, so there's a lot of actually pretty easy steps to go through to reduce your Sunday scaries. The first thing I tell people is it is completely normal. It's not an abnormal sensation to have. It's not an abnormal thing to have. So one of the things that I strongly recommend is to make sure that throughout your week, on a Wednesday night, on a Tuesday night, to try to do a little bit extra each evening, just a little bit, just so that it doesn't feel so heavy for you if you have work carryover onto the weekends. Because since we've been working at home, things have been blurred, lines have been blurred, and we really lost that separation between home and work. The other is to make sure that you prioritize something that is relaxing just for you and make it a prioritized activity over the weekends that you're kind of working your schedule around.
Sometimes it feels like we lock ourselves in with all of this stuff. You mentioned schedules, and then we feel like, oh, I've got to do this, and that can give us anxiety as well. So you say have more sort of like a guide, sort of a bullet points, as opposed to like a tight, locked-in schedule.
Exactly. For the weekend type schedules, what I say is it's a guide because everybody knows the weekends just naturally have less structure. They have less routine. People in general feel better when they have structure and routine. So for the weekends, I recommend being flexible, having a guide that lists out things that you can do, but things come up on the weekends, and part of that anxiety Sunday night is that we're a little bit too rigid with the things that we think we should get done, that we don't actually do the things that come up for us. So be flexible and patient with yourself, but do have some sort of guide.
Here's one that I like. You say, make sure that you prioritize something that's a relaxing activity. Like I'm going to read my book and get out of the way. It's always like get it, do it right now. Get out of the way your least favorite thing. Like put away the toy room or something. You don't want to get it done first and then prioritize. I can just sit around and read.
That's right. That's right. You want to kind of take not necessarily the hardest, but the activity you think about. We all have those things where our stomach turns when we think that we have to do it. Do that first. And if that is too big for you, there's nothing wrong with breaking it down into what I like to call insultingly small steps. Because it's not so much getting it done, but it's the sense of mastery that you acquire by accomplishing a task, no matter how big or small. And then once you get that big thing out of the way, now you have much less kind of emotional space to take on something more enjoyable.
So I have a whole list of all the things I have to do, and they could be huge projects or something as simple as like getting my nails done or something, and I get to cross it off. Like I get to be so happy, like, oh, I did that. Look at that. I returned the books to the library. That got to cross off on my list. Also, here's another big problem I have. There I am looking at my feed all of the time. Unplug from social media, particularly around bedtime.
Yes, it's very important to unplug from social media, especially around bedtime. We like to give kind of an hour or two before bed with blue light. It's very difficult. I always say kind of put your phone across the room, put it somewhere where it's an annoyance to have to access it. But unplugging from social media on the weekend looks a little bit different. During the times where you're scheduling your enjoyable activity or your relaxing activity, that's really when you want to unplug because that's when you want to be the most present.
And thank ourselves. I want to thank you as well, but give ourselves a pat on the back for the stuff that we did right. That's great. And thank you for joining us. You have a great weekend. Schedule time to relax.
Yes.
Thank you.